Hi, Life Group leaders. I hope you're doing well. This week, I just wanted to encourage you about the value of being a leader who reads. I don't know if you've ever heard this statement before, but typically, at least what I've always been taught is if you want to be a leader, you need to be a reader. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. And so this week, I just want to encourage you as you are preparing your material, hopefully, as you study, you come across topics you've never heard of, you've never studied, maybe you've never read a book on or anything like that. But there's so many resources out there that we have a benefit that we can go and read, we can listen to podcasts, watch videos, listen to sermons, seminars, all kinds of different things. And so I just want to encourage you as we reflect and think on being a godly leader, we need first to understand that we haven't arrived. We haven't figured it all out. And so we need to be humble. We need to be teachable, right? As we see in Paul's letters to Timothy and Titus, there's a certain character that comes with being a godly leader. I'm sure you've had a boss or a leader before that you've interacted with that was arrogant, rude, very slave driven, and not a servant leader. But scripture says we need to be teachable. We need to be learning as much as we can about who God is and what God expects of us, and then sharing that with other people so that they also can come with us and then make more disciples. So as we think about these things, I just want to encourage you. There's a few articles that I'm going to attach, but reading helps us slow down. Reading helps us start to process things. In our day and age, we, especially in my generation, we're so addicted to our phones and technology that we don't always see what's right in front of us. So having a good book can radically change that. And so, Lifeway's research, it encourages, we should prioritize learning because then it exposes us to different people, communication styles, topics, time periods, anything, right? You don't have to be reading only just to learn. You can be reading for pleasure. But hopefully, as you are growing with the Lord, there's areas that you realize, man, I'd love to learn more about that. If there's a way that I could walk with you through that, I mean, I haven't figured it all out. Going to seminary showed me I know very little because church history is massive, and so what a blessing we get to learn and study and grow in understanding who God is and what God expects from us, but also seeing how other people have wrestled with these topics. And we don't have to read only Christian authors. There's a wide range of things out there. So I already mentioned being humble, but hopefully, my prayer is that we would love to learn and, not just as I'm trying to teach my kids the joy of reading, but also what a blessing it is to be able to go in a different time period, learn about different cultures, see how different strategies or business models or even just variations in theology. It doesn't matter that we don't understand it, right? We shouldn't read in a bubble. We shouldn't read only those we agree with. And so my encouragement is if we're going to be godly leaders and making disciples, we need to be encouraging not only our people to do it, but being accountable to do it ourselves. And so I just, there's all kinds of things out there that you can look at that would be helpful. But I want you to know that as we do this, we're doing this together. And I'm so grateful I've learned a lot from you as we've had our meetings, as we've shared, coffee or lunch. But as I'm still trying to meet with everybody, you all have a story that contributes to my story. And so, in some ways, you're discipling me, and I hope to carry that on to the next generation. And so, as we think about this, and I just want to put a few books in front of you. Now, I will say, I'm not affirming a specific perspective of theology when I put these out there. But I know for me, when I came to seminary, I didn't know a lot of the big words. I was intimidated, and there's all these different groups like, are you a Calvinist? Are you an Arminian? Are you Reformed? I didn't know what any of that meant. But as we mine the treasures of Scripture, do we see that not everyone agrees with us? And are we willing to listen and learn from that? So, Kevin DeYoung, he has this book called Daily Doctrine. And outside of how they view church polity and baptism and the Lord's Supper, a lot of what he has to say is little bite-sized chunks on theology. And you could read it in a year, you could read it in a month, whatever you want, but they're written so that they're little bite-sized chunks. So while I don't agree with everything he says, I do think Daily Doctrine is a great introduction to theology. Greg Allison, he came out with 50 core truths of the Christian faith. And honestly, it's such a great help. So Southern Baptist perspective, and each chapter is kind of broken up with a structure and kind of highlights what's going to happen. and then it gives you a teaching outline how you might want to go through that. So I would encourage those things. Another one is by Wayne House, A Theology of Doctrine. And what this does is it presents a wide variety of views. So if you don't want to go grab one of those massive theology textbooks, which I understand they can be intimidating, the books like this are out there that show you a brief breakdown and rundown of what to expect. And so I just want to encourage you, as we continue to learn and meet and grow together, we have an opportunity to encourage and challenge our people to do the same. Don't ask them to do something you're not willing to do. And I think you already know that. But our people need to see us modeling it. So every week for our new life group, I try to show them new resources, whether it's on parenting, family discipleship, how to understand the Old Testament, any of it. Because it's an opportunity for us to put it before them and help them get resources they may never have had. And so let's be humble, let's be teachable, and let's encourage our people to do the same. If I can do anything for you, please let me know. And the other thing I want to encourage is we're going to meet in a few weeks to do our life group leader meeting. So please be on the lookout for a link to register. We'd love to see you. And again, I'm praying for you. I'm grateful for you. If there's anything I can do or anything Jordan and I can do, be a blessing to you, please let us know. Thank you for everything. Have a great week. God bless.